Hi, patrons, and welcome back to the bus stop, the halfway bus stop. We are a little further along than I normally start in these recent bus stop videos where I've done part of my makeup. I just wanted to give you all a little bit of variety because variety is the spice of life. Am I right? It's literally like two more steps than the past few videos, but it's a process, and I think it's really fun to see the steps. And also, I just wanted to kind of show off like how amazing my makeup was looking so far. Like, I think I deserve to say that, right? Like, I feel like I've really been popping off tonight. Anyways, today's very special. It is the 200th episode of RuPaul's Drag Race, which is insane. So eventually we'll be reacting to the Crystal Ball 3 looks that the queens did for this ball. But first, as part of the bus stop, I wanted to talk a little bit more about makeup, look at a couple news articles, one of them involving South Park that I haven't read that I think we could just read together because I love that show and it's like some South Park drama. Then I want to go through BuzzFeed's like 20 most gag-worthy moments over the RuPaul's Drag Race years in celebration of the 200th episode, and maybe some personal stuff. We'll see what happens. First things first, the makeup, right? I said it was popping off. Recently, what I've changed is as my base foundation, I'm not sure how many of y'all really know this, but I use like probably 6 different stick colors to create shapes and shadows. And the stick foundations that I have always used and am continuing to use are, of course, the Kryolan TV paint sticks, drag classic, heavy makeup staple. You really need something this thick if you're gonna be sitting in front of literally like there's 5 bright lights in front of my face. You've just gotta have enough spackle to cover the base canvas. The thing that I added last year, or maybe even a year and a half ago, was a liquid foundation, which I mix with the sticks in a sort of like base capacity, but it all kind of goes on at the same time. Like, it's not necessarily like I do the liquid and then I do the creams. I've been doing them all together. So I'll like, put in some like highlights and then I'll mix in the liquids. I was for the longest time using Estee Lauder Double Wear. I loved this foundation for a while, but eventually something about it just started either disagreeing with my skin or disagreeing with some combination of the other foundations and setting sprays I use, or Amazon's been selling me like fraudulent makeup, which I wouldn't say is totally out of the realm of possibility, but I also don't think it's totally likely. I mean, anyone can sell anything on Amazon, but it looks real to me. I don't know how to verify that. I mean, I've sure paid the real price for it. Anyways, I stopped using this because I didn't even know that this was the problem for the longest time. I stopped using it though because I realized that it was causing like too much dryness. And I have like combination skin, so I'm like oily up here, dry skin down here. This bad boy looked great in my oily zone. But then as I would be like doing my videos, like it would just disappear from the bottom drier part of my face. Like, I'm not joking, disappear, gone, poof. You can even see it in some of my old videos, and I even talked about it in one of my Hotter Rots. I remember because it was so bad that night. And it would disappear, and then it's like no matter what I did, I couldn't put any other products on top. And I thought I was maybe over shaving, which maybe I was a little bit, but it just kept happening. And eventually I was like, you know what? We're gonna try a new foundation. And Trixie always talks about MAC Studio Fix Liquid Foundation. The bitch is right. This is a holy grail makeup. I'm a MAC girl. I love all the MAC products I've tried. Moisturizer for pre-makeup, by the way, I do MAC Comfort Cream mixed with like a face oil and then primer. I also love like MAC lipsticks. MAC is just, they're expensive, but they're expensive for a reason. Like, the products are good. This probably sounds crazy, but I actually mix 2 different shades to get closer to my real skin tone. And I do end up painting a little more yellow because my breastplate is a little more yellow in tone. I'm not like totally matched to my real skin tone, but like, I mean, it's not totally off by the time it gets mixed with all that stuff. So basically, I've got these 2 new liquids, which I love, and I have not had any problem. I wanted to really wait and do, like, I've been using these now for 2-3 months, but I wanted to wait and see if these truly fixed my problem, and they have truly fixed my problems. Like, my makeup has looked so flawless, easy to apply. It's not disappearing in random spots. It just kind of like stays in place. It's really, really good stuff. Love this. Love this. Love this. Love, 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 love. And then I mix that with tons of other, like Kryolan TV paint stick, like I showed you. And it's just been giving me a really pretty base. So that's the update with the makeup. I also wanted to, I guess, talk a little bit about, I think this is worth mentioning. Y'all know I've been busy. Y'all know I've been traveling. I've got a new love interest in my life. He's great. We're great. But, you know, I'm going back and forth to New York to make this situation happen. It's a very special situation. That in combination with, I kind of have talked about this also before. Last year I worked a lot. Last year I did like 8 videos a month. It almost killed me, truthfully. You know, 2 videos per week. If you really think about what that means, like each video is essentially a 3-day cycle for me of like 2 to 3 12-hour work days. In addition to, you know, I also have to do all of like the businessy things for my business, which like, oh, it's such a headache. I'm like, I just want to have fun and make content and do drag, but then I've got to do all these other crazy things like bookkeeping and it's a headache. Anyways, I don't want to bore you with it, but a video is like a 3-day cycle of like 3 8 to 12-hour work days each, right? Filming day is usually, I would say, about a 14-hour work stretch for me because I start the makeup, I watch the show, I react, I record some content for y'all for Patreon, I finish my makeup, I write my script, I record the video. Then I might help Sailor with the edit a little bit, record an ad, yada, yada, yada. Next 2 days are like thumbnail, getting the content out, community management, that stuff. I'm bringing all this up to say I've only been doing 1 video per week and I've loved the lesser work schedule, honestly. I mean, who wouldn't, right? But I am getting kind of tired of the lesser work schedule as well. I'm like, you know, I'm kind of thirsty to put some more stuff out. But I think I've gotten to a really, really good place mentally now because the end of last year with Canada versus the World, All-Star 7, the online drama on like Twitter, Reddit, people were going wild. I don't know if they were just like stuck at home and bored or what, but it was like I sneezed in the wrong direction and people would take it out of context. The Dragula girls would get mad. I mean, like there was just this trend of like, Bussy Queen said something, let's freak out for no reason. And it was just really, really sending me up a wall because I care so much about my content. I care so much about putting out positivity back into the LGBTQ plus IA2IA sphere. Like I want good for other people. I don't ever want to have anyone feel disenfranchised or feel negative from my content. Like I really, you know, it's a silly little show that I do. I have a lot of fun, and I think my viewers have a lot of fun. Y'all have a lot of fun because I know you do because you're here. And it's just fun, you know? And so it really hurts me when people take that weight of context and then try to make it into a negative thing or like an I'm bad thing when I feel like I have done nothing but try to be good. So all that was going on last year in addition to all of the work that I was doing, and it was really just a huge drain on me. I had no personal time. I was barely seeing my friends. You know, I mean, I haven't dated really in years, and so that's new for me. But all that to say, I've been doing 1 video per week, and I've really been enjoying the lesser work schedule. I've removed myself a lot from Twitter, from Reddit, from all the spaces where people are chatting, because I mean, I realized like if those bitches aren't paying your bills, pay those bitches no mind. RuPaul was right. She popped off about that. She was correct about that. Unfortunately, it is also meant that I have spent a little less time in like the YouTube comments where, you know, my YouTube subscribers do pay my bills. My Patreon subscribers, y'all do pay my bills. I mean, y'all make it possible for me to have Sailor be a full-time editor for me. I mean, like that, you know, is sort of a negative consequence where like I've had to remove myself so much from the online sphere just to get myself into a clear headspace that I also have removed myself from communication in some of the positive areas too. So in this year, as we progress, I do want to get back to making more content, not 2 videos per week, not 8 videos per month. We've been doing great with 1 per week. I feel really clear, really good. I want to start adding 1 more per month, maybe 2 more per month, 5 or 6 a month. I think is a good space to be in. I also want to get back to communicating with my patrons, making a lot more longer form content on here, this exclusive bus stop content, and back into the YouTube comments, back into the positive spheres, putting my energy where I'm going to get a positive return. Because I learned it was just like the more time I spent online at the end of that last year and that last quarter, it was just like the worse I felt. It actually wasn't even just the last quarter last year. It was like almost the whole year, really. It was just like I was constantly plugged in, and in results I felt constantly drained. I was constantly drained. I feel so recharged. I feel so refreshed. I feel so good, and I'm excited. So it's a long-winded way to say if you feel like I haven't really been that available, I'm sorry, I haven't. You know, I had to make that decision for myself to really pull back so that I could see everything from afar, from up here, and then come back in with a better strategy and a better plan. And I think I'm ready to do that. So cheers. Cheers to that. Cheers to like feeling good, being in a clear headspace, not letting the negativity get to you, not even participating in the negativity or going into spaces where you know you're not liked. You know, like no good will come of it, you know? Hard lesson to learn, but I think I've learned it for the most part. Not sponsored, obviously. Oh God, if Waterloo sponsored me, I would be their bitch. I would do whatever they wanted. No, you know, and I will say, no sparkling water company that I know of. Oh, I'm lying out of my ass. Here we go. Bubbly literally sponsored RuPaul's Drag Race last season. But Bubbly is made by, who owns them? I think Coke owns them. Pepsi owns Bubbly. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of that one. And not because Pepsi owns them, but because I don't think the flavor of Bubbly is that great. Waterloo, if you love a sparkling water. Okay, LaCroix is like a hint of flavor. And LaCroix's good. I still drink LaCroix. Waterloo is like, it's like you stuck your straw in a pineapple, but there's no actual fruit juice. Like this one's it's so flavorful, so rich, complex. It's so good. I love the pineapple. I love the peach one. I love the grape one, black cherry one. Like Waterloo pops off. They are the best sparkling water, period. I would be their bitch. Just saying. I also love them because their cans are not lined with, I think it's BPA. It's like that plastic material that some companies do still line cans with, which in high levels there've been some studies, some peer-reviewed research studies that BPA is not great in high concentrations. The FDA says it's safe, obviously, to like put in cans and stuff, but like, I just, you know, if something is known to not be a good thing in high levels, I don't want it in low levels. Those are my thoughts there. Anyways, got makeup. We've got sparkling water. I don't know why I felt like I needed to talk about that, but I just love Waterloo so much. I just had to. We talked about going offline, and now we're coming back online. Offline, online. Yeah, they switch like Nicki Minaj spilled when she said that. Other personal things. On my most recent flight back to New York and a little bit last night, I finally finished. This is a long time coming. Y'all are never gonna guess. I finally finished Final Fantasy X. I know y'all were sitting on the sidelines. I know y'all were sitting in the bleachers. I know y'all have been cheering me on for so long, waiting for me to finish this game, and I finally did it. Totally joking. I don't think I've ever told any of y'all that I was playing that game at all, but Final Fantasy is my favorite game franchise ever, I think. I've been playing the different Final Fantasies, you know, since I was 6 years old, 7 years, I don't know. Final Fantasy X was always super important to me. It was groundbreaking. The thing about Final Fantasy games, the reason I love them, they're always groundbreaking in terms of cinematics, storytelling, gameplay. They, you know, are frequently game of the year, stuff like that. Like they are always pushing the boundary in a lot of different ways, and they do it in high fantasy, magic, knights, yada yada world that I love and adore so much. Final Fantasy X was always really important to me, and like, you know, it came out when I was like 9 or 10, and I never beat the game. I kind of I've known what happens, you know, with Sen, who's like the big mega boss of, you know, the antagonist of the game, if you will. The plot is you're following Yuna, who's on her pilgrimage to become a summoner who will ultimately defeat Sen. And, you know, she really is the main character of the story. You're also playing as Titus and, you know, like 6 other people. But anyways, played through like the first half of the game, like probably 3 or 4 different times over the years. And then I finally said, you know what, I want to beat this game. I want to beat it. So last year, I started playing it, and I got up to the final boss, and then for some reason stopped. And then this year I said, you know what, I'm going to beat this game. I said it again. I said, I'm going to beat this game. And I did it. I did it. Because as an adult, I can finish video games. No joke. Since I've been like, I don't know, 5 years old, when I was first played my first game longer than, you know, Minesweeper or... do y'all even know what that is? Or whatever silly little online pinball computer game or whatever. Not online, offline games, you know, that'd be like installed on your machine when you got them. Yeah, those are the days. Since that era, my first game I picked up was Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow. Obviously, I beat those. Those are really easy for me as a kid to beat because it's linear. Beat the gym leaders, beat the Elite Four, you're done. It's simple. You know, level up your Pokemon as much as you want, whatever. I beat those probably 10 different times each. The different versions. Yes, I had all 3. Why, I don't know. Then after that, I don't know. I never like really beat another game. Any long form game, I never beat another game until recently, last year, Final Fantasy VII Remake. All comes back to Final Fantasy. That game, beautiful. Beautifully done, amazingly done, engaging. It was like playing a movie. The game is so good. It's a remake, not a remaster, but a true remake of the original Final Fantasy VII, which was actually one that I didn't really play. The first Final Fantasy I ever picked up was like Final Fantasy VIII, which I didn't beat. Then I played Final Fantasy IX, which I loved, never beat it. Final Fantasy X, again, halfway through several times, never beat it. 11 was an online, played the hell out of that, hundreds of hours in that. 12, never played it for some reason. 13, almost beat it. I got very close. That was a fun one. 14, online. I have hundreds of hours in that as well. You don't really beat the online ones, though. I mean, you do and you don't. I also didn't beat the plot in that one. Either we don't need to talk about it. 15, never played it. 16, I have pre-ordered. 10 and 7 remake, I have beat. Add it to the war chest. I'm a gamer. Don't know why I felt like I needed to tell you all that, but that's just how it's going over here. Still watching The Last of Us. Loved it. It's not over, obviously. It's getting a little more video gamey, interestingly. Spoiler, not a big spoiler though, it's just like a character. A giant zombie thing, do you call these zombies? I guess you do. A giant infected came up in this like group of infected, and it was like a tree person. So it's really interesting because they're taking this series, it's an adaptation of a video game. And obviously, you know, video games are gonna have like bosses and levels. And how do you really put that into a series? That's for them to decide. But you know, we've seen the infected people, we've seen the clickers. Now we're seeing these like giant formations of like hardened tree people zombies. It's really bizarre. And I was like, oh girl, scary. I won't say what that thing did because that's a spoiler, but it's starting to get scary, like a scary video game. I'm like, ooh. Also finished White Lotus. Heartbroken. I'm heartbroken. Spoiler for that. Tanya, Jennifer Coolidge, she dies. And I just want to know what the fuck they're going to do with that. Because she's the reason that I watched in the first place. She's the reason I watched at all. Okay. Then I was like, okay, great. The writing's great. The acting's great. Yada, yada, yada. She was in season 1, season 2. And then she fucking dies at the end. And I'm not really a supporter of that because I mentioned in the last episode of this, I think, I was talking about to y'all, like, I think her in this role is going to be looked at as one of the most iconic roles of this like era of, you know, TV everywhere. Like it is such a great role for her. She's doing such a great job in the acting. How the fuck are we going to get rid of her? Great death scene though. Really great death scene, I will say. Because it's like, do I even want to watch White Lotus without her? No. Will I? Probably. Maybe if we're lucky, they'll do a prequel. One can hope. All right. On to news stuff. So we have this article here. I literally just saw the headline and clicked it because I really enjoy South Park, and Warner Bros. Discovery sues Paramount over South Park streaming rights. The company is seeking hundreds of millions of dollars from Paramount for what it views as a breach of contract for the exclusive rights to the comedic cartoon, which lives on Warner Bros. Discovery's HBO Max. Yeah, that was a weird thing because this new season 26, is on HBO Max, but I've been watching the previous, like the COVID specials and season 24 and 25, I think both of those were on Paramount Plus, and I was like, all of a sudden it popped up on my HBO Max while I was looking for White Lotus, and I was like, oh, okay, sure. So they're suing them. Paramount said in a statement that claims are without merit and believes it is still adhering to its contract. Warner Bros. Sues Paramount looking to enforce the streaming rights of South Park, setting the stage for a legal battle between two. On Friday, they filed the lawsuit. Warner said it agreed in 2019 to pay more than $500 million, Jesus, or approximately $1.69 million per episode to license South Park, the long-standing cartoon, blah, 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 yes, we know what it is, for its own streaming platform, HBO Max. During the bidding process, the filing said, Paramount allegedly asked whether Warner Bros. Discovery would consider sharing the rights to the show for Paramount's own streaming service. Warner HBO rejected the proposition as a non-starter. Warner alleged in the lawsuit that Paramount went back on its contract and withheld South Park specials and other related content. The suit points to Paramount's own fledgling streaming service as the reason. It says, we also note that Paramount continues to adhere to the party's contract by delivering new South Park episodes to HBO Max, despite the fact that Warner Bros. Discovery has failed and refused to pay licensees that it owes to Paramount for episodes that have already been delivered and which HBO Max continues to stream. Although the agreement called for HBO Max to receive the first episodes of the latest season of South Park in 2020. Yeah, I'm like, this has been going on for a while. What are they talking about? Paramount said it notified Warner in March it would halt production of this season as a result of the pandemic. Oh, right, because there were no seasons. They were just doing those specials. That's what happened. Okay. Warner then claimed South Park and its creators moved forward with the production of other types of content, such as 2 pandemic-themed specials that aired between September 20 2020 and March 2021. Warner further alleges the scheme was in the works when Paramount subsidiary MTV signed a deal with the South Park creators in 2021, which called for exclusive content for Paramount Plus, reported to be worth $900 million. Wow, God, that's a lot of money. Girl, the girls are fighting. The streaming services are fighting. This week, Warner Bros. Discovery reported a big loss in its quarterly earnings as the company faces a softening advertising market, which weighed on its revenue. The company said that it added 1.1 million global streaming subscribers, bringing its total to 96.1 million for services including HBO Max and Discovery Plus. Oh, girl, no one's watching Discovery Plus. Losses for the streaming businesses also narrowed to 217 million for the period, 511 million year-over-year improvement. Interesting. Sorry, I love like the weird technicals of all this stuff. Y'all can skip this if you don't give a fuck, but I enjoy it, so that's what we're here for, right? Interesting to hear that HBO Max is still not turning a profit. Sorry, HBO Max and Discovery wrapped up in Warner Bros. That's crazy. So many of these companies, like, did Netflix ever turn a profit? I don't know. I remember for a long time, like Tesla didn't have any profits for like 10 years. All the social medias like Facebook, Twitter, all that, they didn't have profits forever. But like, you know, these VC venture capitals in Silicon Valley saw the value in all this stuff, and thank God they did. But like for all these things to be operating at a loss is wild. Like our entire economy is just propped up on like losses. Like Uber, Lyft, have they ever turned a profit? I don't know. Uber and Lyft are sure the hell getting more expensive though. So they're trying. Girl, I remember when Uber and Lyft first came out, you could go anywhere for like $3 which is wild to say. Because now, you know, if you even want to go like from a residential area in Austin to downtown, I mean, you're looking at $12 to $15, maybe $20 with tip and stuff. And, you know, you still literally, you'd call a ride. I'm not joking. Like $3, $5, go here, go there. I mean, you were just Ubering everywhere. I was. It was so cheap. You know, I was in college and I was like, hell yeah, this is great. It's like cheaper than gas. Probably not, but maybe. I don't know. So HBO Max is Miss Bitter Boots because she wants more subscribers. And she thinks Paramount is doing some unfair trade practices, streaming up their South Park, not allowing them potentially to, you know, hit some of their revenue goals. Interesting. I will also say stuff like this is great PR. It's great PR for South Park and HBO Max. Even if they don't win the lawsuit, they'll probably drop this. They're going to drop this. Who cares? They're not going to fight this. This is just to get news coverage for the new season of South Park and HBO Max. Fun stuff. The 20 most gag-worthy and iconic RuPaul's Drag Race moments of all time, according to Crawford Horton, BuzzFeed contributor. I'm so gagged when I see like, oh, Crawford's cute. Wow. Oh, now he's an anime photo. I feel like I've been gaslit. What's happening? Was that like a stock photo? Okay, this is getting creepy. Oh yeah, he is cute. BuzzFeed contributor. What does that even mean? Like, are you like does this mean someone like works at BuzzFeed? Or does that mean they just like freelance? He looks familiar. Why does he look familiar? I would say this is creepy. It's really not creepy because I mean it's public. You know, it's on here. BuzzFeed, whatever. He's a public author, public person here. He had like 60,000 followers. Anyways. Okay, Cutie, he said, "Hey, Kitty Girls, in celebration of the show's 200th episode, let's shantate on the memory runway and look back at the moments that have truly become legendary. Sasha's Rose Petals. Okay, Jeeks Monsoon's Little Edie. I was going to say, I'm so gagged when I see BuzzFeed pop up still because, like, I forget that their website is in, like, operation. They created a method of information delivery, a unique blog compilation style, and it was popular, and it was the boots for, like, 2010 to 2016, 17, and then just like completely fucking died because people started watching videos is why. Anyways, I still read. Denali vs. Kamar Hall. These are recent. I mean, yeah, Jinx Monsoon's Little Edie is Snatch Game defining. I think this is one of the reasons that we still have Snatch Game. Performances like this, performances like Bianca Del Rio. I mean, those clips probably and licensing and all that stuff will probably pay the RuPaul's Drag Race bills for many years to come. Sasha's Rose Petals is talked about a lot. The funny thing is, I feel like it's talked about in some interesting ways because it was such a bitter moment for Shay and it became like her storyline on All Stars 5, which like I'm sure she didn't love and I'm sure Sasha didn't love because it's like kind of created this like eternal feud between them and you know whatever. It was good TV though, her little thing. Okay, Denali versus Kamara Hall. Yeah, that was a great lip sync. Miss Fangie, of course. Evie Oddly versus Brooklyn Heights. Oh my God, yeah. This lip sync show defining as well, for sure. I would put this even maybe a little higher. If you're gonna only watch one thing from season 11, watch like this lip sync. That's all you need. so good. Anitra's talent show at number 6. No, I don't agree with that. I don't think anything from seasons like 13, 14, or 15 should be on this list. This is like her lip sync was good, but like top 20 already? No. I think only in retrospect, 10 years from now, can we say something like that. The first double elimination, that was gag-worthy. So if we were actually going by the title of this article, most gag-worthy and iconic, I'd be moving up Jinx Monsoon. I would move this lip sync up. I would move the double elimination up because that truly was gag-worthy. Honey and Vivian Panay, that was so bad. Willow Pill's talent show, no. This doesn't go here. Maybe like at number 20. That's so recent. It's too recent to be one of the top 20 fucking iconic moments. It's chocolate. Oh, no. Too recent. Crawford, what are we doing? Of all time, have you even seen the first 6 seasons? Because it doesn't look like you have. Violet Chachki's chart and reveal. Yes. Game changing in terms of fashion, runways, looks. This whole runway actually from season 7 is great. It was sort of a new thing that they did, this like fall and spring runway. They've also done like winter and summer or whatever. And it was, season 7 was really unique and special for Drag Race because it was really one of the first times that we start seeing fashion on the runway elevated beyond, hey, I'm a drag queen and this looks good, or this is campy, or this is exciting, or this is sickening. But true fashion from queens like Violet and Fame. Valentina's Masquerade, yeah, that was gag-worthy. Do I look upset to you? I don't know about this being up here. If I were gonna put like a reunion moment here, I would probably put like Detox's black and white look higher than this. Or I would put like why are we not talking about like, I don't know, the All-Stars 1 Untucked moments? Oh, it looks like they're not doing All-Stars. Because I was going to talk about like Tammy Brown, stuff like that. Mimi I'm first. Shay's moment, I don't know why Shay's on this right here. It doesn't make any sense to me. But if we're going to have like a confessional, maybe like Pheromone here. You don't love me. And Nietzsche versus Sasha. It's too recent. We can't have current season on the best list of all time. No. We can't do that. Chi-Chi DeVayne versus Thorgy Thor. You know, I don't remember this lip sync. Rest in peace to this goddess. Yeah, I don't remember this lip sync. Roxy's wig reveal. This should be way higher. Crawford, what are you doing? This should be way higher. This was, so they are doing All-Stars. This list doesn't make any sense. This wig reveal, this was, I think, also the bus stop episode, obviously important to me. This changed everything in a lip sync, in a look, and stuff like this. Like, I don't know for a fact off the top of my head if this was the first wig reveal of RuPaul's Drag Race, but it's hard to describe the impact this had on the culture of drag, of TV, of RuPaul's Drag Race. Or, like, you had to be there. This was just something that like perfectly encapsulated the stupidity, glamour, and camp of drag on TV in a unique moment. Just so great. Roxy, love her. Category is, what category are we on right now? Okay, Miss Crawford really loves her season 9 girls. Yeah, okay, great song. I would put like Alaska and Detox and Roxy maybe above this. All-Stars 2. Angina opens up. Interesting that he put this on here and they mentioned this in the episode. Yeah, a game should, like, I would put something like this higher. Like, this is more impactful on the culture. This right category is like, that was just, it was great. It was amazing. This is like, okay, that's just another like, you know, top 4 lip sync. And this was like, wow, queer people talking about HIV on internationally seen queer content. That is gag-worthy. That is iconic. That is huge. Monet's split fake out. It's great. Top 20? I don't know. Top 50? Sure. Willem's disqualification. Yeah, this should be way higher. People talk about this all the time. Willem talks about it all the time. It's Willem's claim to fame. In addition to every TV show that Willem has starred as an extra on. Not being shady. I mean, I am being shady, but like all TL shade. Like, I love Willem. But yeah, this moment was like defining for the series to be disqualified in this way and have this sort of what the fuck happened literally at the reunion is when they did this. They did, what did Willem do? Like, RuPaul made the entire audience say that. And there was like this, it was this talking point for many years of what did Willem really do? What really happened? I mean, there's videos, there's articles, there's Willem talking about it on Twitter constantly. There's, what did Willem do? Does anyone know? Great question. And that's the other thing is like, Willem is such an unreliable narrator that like, who fucking knows? You know, who knows? Was it all staged? Maybe, but a great play. It's a great FU to what was in the process of becoming the defining outlet of drag. It was a great way for someone to be anti-establishment and make a name for themselves off of not winning. Yeah, really defining for Drag Race. Not today, Satan. Sure. I mean, you could put Bianca's whole fucking reel as a gag-worthy moment. I mean, game-changing contestant of Drag Race there. So Crawford, I would give your list a warming up. It would be more interesting to me to back this up objectively in the sense of, what are we going to define iconic or gag-worthy? Maybe we could do like the most talked about, so the most Google searched topics, which would kind of work. But kind of look at this from like an objective. What are people looking for? What are people like going back to when they think of Drag Race? What are they rewatching? Because like also on here, like All Stars 2, I mean like, it's not even on here. It's so confusing. All Stars 2 changed everything also. And like we're putting Willow Pill's talent show on here. No ma'am. Anyways, don't get me wrong, right? Like Willow Pill's talent show is great, but like top 20 of all time? Maybe I should make my own list. In fact, I think I will. Maybe that'll be this like next week's bonus video on YouTube, since y'all got to hear me roast poor little Crawfords. He did a good job. It's just not my top 20. Okay, that was fun.